G'day guys and welcome back to Aussie Gamer. Now on today's show, I'm checking out the awesome Battlefield 1 beta. Now this came to me thanks to WarHead Inc, and I'll leave a little link to his Twitter and YouTube in the description down below. So make sure you go and check him out and subscribe and do all that really cool stuff, because he was able to get me into the beta early, and I have to say I've been absolutely loving it, despite the fact that I suck. Now straight off the bat, I've got to say I'm not a fantastic Battlefield player in general. I love the campaign, but when it comes to the multiplayer, I think the 64 player element absolutely just leaves me, I don't know, just getting hammered, you know, match after match after match. I just don't have those Battlefield skills yet. So I do really want to get into Battlefield 1 because visually it looks amazing. So this is probably the best first person shooter I think I've played to date. And the game looks and feels phenomenal. Certainly from an atmosphere point of view, the guys at EA have really bought it for Battlefield 1. It just looks, sounds, and just immerses you in that whole real Battlefield experience, or the best it can for a video game anyway. Now if I compare and contrast this game versus the previous Battlefield games, I've got to say this one plays a little bit more like the new Star Wars game from EA. It doesn't necessarily feel like Battlefield games of old. So look, I'm a little bit undecided whether that's a good thing or a bad thing at this point. Certainly the engine they've bought from a visual point of view, it just adds a stunningness to this game, an authenticity that looks amazing. So definitely a big fan and a big advocate of that. But as you can see here in this gameplay, I'm really struggling to perform well. And there's certainly a lot of brutal deaths, and you can see a couple of those on screen now. But from a learning curve point of view, it is a little bit higher. Well, it's a lot higher than other games like Call of Duty and even Titanfall. I guess in effect, Battlefield is kind of the Battlefield simulator, or the war simulator. Certainly a lot more authentic in that degree compared to a Call of Duty or a Titanfall. Now I've got to say there are many things to like about Battlefield 1. From the vehicle combat, you know, the horse combat with the ability to draw the sword, that is amazing. The fact that you can ride along in the planes or some of the other vehicles and leverage those along with your mates to really sort of take control of the battlefield. So really well done. I love some of the elements that they've added graphically. So the dust storms that sweep across the desert are just really well done, and it definitely adds to that experience that you have when you play the game. Now obviously there's a couple of things that I'm not a big fan of, and it does feel like the learning curve to play this game is a lot higher than a Call of Duty, and that could be a good thing and a bad thing. But for me, given that I don't quite have that Battlefield experience and skill level yet, I am getting absolutely destroyed when I play this game, and sometimes that's not a lot of fun, but it does push you to try a little bit harder, and I'm enjoying that element at this point in time. Now, as I said earlier, the game plays a little bit like Star Wars Battlefront. Now, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but I guess if you're a Battlefield purist, you might be a little bit annoyed. Now, I've got to know, look, based on some of these betas, whether it be for Titanfall 2, you know, that recently came out, that got a fair degree of criticism. I really liked it, and based on the beta, I think, you know, that's a definite purchase for me down the track. But I know there's been a lot of people calling for the game to be delayed. It shouldn't be coming out between Battlefield 1 and the new Call of Duty. But I don't know, look, you know, if that's the sort of game that you want, you don't really want it delayed, you want that game firsthand. Now, it is getting quite crowded in this shooter genre, and I'm personally thinking that's probably a decision from EA to drown out a little bit of the thunder, the little bit of the ownership of the shooter segment that Call of Duty has, and weaken their position a little bit. But I could be wrong there, but it is going to be very crowded in the run-up to that Christmas period in the world of shooters, whether it be Gears of War 4, the new Call of Duty, you've got Battlefield 1, you've got Titanfall 2, and there's some of the really big guns that are going up against each other. But what I do want to know is, are these betas turning you off buying some of these games? And would you have been more likely to buy a game like Battlefield 1 or even Titanfall 2 if you never had the beta? For me, I gotta say, it's going to be a busy couple of months. I'm definitely picking up Gears of War 4. I'm definitely picking up Battlefield 1. I'm definitely picking up Titanfall 2. And I'm also definitely picking up the new Call of Duty. So there you go, guys. Look, that's just some of my thoughts on Battlefield 1 and the whole shooter genre at this point. The beta is going really well. It's still on for another couple of days, so make sure if you haven't checked it out yet that you go and do that. So there you go. Look, if you've liked today's video, please remember to smash that like button for me. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, guys, get involved in the conversation by the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Now, I'm going to get back out on the battlefield.